From Texas to Scotland, Part 2. Good morning, y'all. It's about 8:20 in the morning here in Edinburgh. We're all just packing up and getting ready to head to our next stop, which is Glasgow. I just have to say, Edinburgh is so cool. You got Arthur's Seat, you got the Edinburgh Castle, you got Stramash, you got all these pubs to check out. There's just so much to do and so much to see with so little time. I wish I could stay here a little bit longer, but right now, we're fixing to head to Glasgow. See you then. June 9th, 2026. We all got up early to have a quick breakfast before heading to our coach. I mentioned that we are heading to Glasgow, but along the way, we will be making a few stops. Another tour guide is joining us on this journey. Her name is Victoria, and she provided a lot of interesting stuff about Scotland.
They are on your left-hand side now. At night, they light them up for different colours, and you can see them from really far away. It's quite spectacular. And you can also take a tour and climb up inside their heads and look out the mouth. And they are much, much, much bigger than you realise. The motorway is set up here a little bit above them.
As we make our way to Stirling, we have a tour guide on the bus that's been showing us interesting sights on the way over here. Just being on the bus and just looking around. It's just really beautiful, really cool to see the countryside of Scotland. We see a lot of lambs and cows and even Clydesdale horses. It's also really cool to see some of the buildings, like just regular homes, and we even passed a couple of castles already. And I think we're fixing to come up with another castle, in fact. So, just for kind of a more chill day as we recover a little bit from Edinburgh, as we make it to Stirling and eventually Glasgow. Yeah, I just can't really complain.
It's true, I still want you. But the harder I try, the more I seem to lose. I don't want a lover, I just need a friend.
After driving through Stirling, seeing the countryside, we made it to our first stop. And I gotta be honest, I'm really excited to talk about this one. Okay, we just pulled into Doune. We'll check out Doune Castle. Doune Castle was used in Outlander and the Monty Python and the Holy Grail, so it's going to be a really cool tour. I can just tell. As we walk through Doune, it's really interesting how narrow the streets are. It's something I don't see very often back in the States, and I appreciate how friendlier it is for foot traffic. I guess it shows how very car dependent we became back home. This cricket field used to be a Roman fort that was pretty close to where Doune Castle is right now. Okay, we have arrived at Doune Castle. Okay, I'm about to step foot inside of Doune Castle, the same castle used for the Holy Grail. That was a funny movie. That's something that's so cool about Scotland and basically all of the UK and Europe, is that there's so many castles to check out. I'm just really looking forward to it. Let's have a look. Doune Castle. It was first built in the 13th century, and it was controlled by the Duke of Albany, then King James I through VI of Scotland, and now presently controlled by Earl of Moray. It has gone through several wars, many restorations, including the most recent one in the 1880s, and to this day, maintained by the historic environment of Scotland. At the castle, you can pick up an audio guide narrated by Monty Python writer and actor Terry Jones, who played Sir Bedivere and others in the Holy Grail. We are inside Doune Castle now. Looks like it's under some renovations, but still, this looks spectacular. There's something about Doune Castle that makes this experience feel more authentic. When comparing to the Edinburgh Castle, Doune Castle feels less of a tourist attraction and more like an actual castle. Don't get me wrong, Edinburgh and Doune are both real historic castles. But what makes Doune Castle more special is how they leave things mostly as they are, save for any restorations. And the fact that the castle is smaller means you can go through everything at a slower pace since you have more time to soak everything in. Terry Jones does an excellent job retelling the history of Doune Castle. And since I mentioned him, allow me to show you some prominent scenes of Doune Castle in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
We're knights of the round table, we dance whenever we're able. We do routines and chorus scenes with footwork impeccable. We dine well here in Camelot, we eat ham and jam and spamalot.
Okay, we're about to climb up this winding staircase to the top. Let's see what we can see up here.
On second thoughts, let's not go to Camelot. It is a silly place.
Okay, you get the idea. Monty Python aside, the history of this castle is really interesting as I try to picture myself in these rooms during the medieval times. And it's even crazier to imagine this place being older than, let's say, my grandparents' 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 grandparents. Or something like that. I saw a dirt path going around the castle. I'm going to check it out as well before I head back to the bus. But so far, this castle is really cool. Man, I just want to watch the Holy Grail again, honestly. But no, the history of this castle is also really fascinating. I also recommend checking out Doune Castle as well, especially if you're a fan of Monty Python and the Holy Grail or the series The Outlander. We shortly went back onto the bus and continued our adventure.
Well, how's your view of things today? Gob young to fade away. The sinners sin but aren't aware. Our fables take us everywhere. I can't keep up with you. I can't keep up. I can't keep.
Okay, we just made a quick stop to look at some Highland cows.
The mystery must stay inside. Look our homes, look our lives in control of the morning. In control of the sea.
Want a treat?
I create all the bubbles at night. I'm chasing around and trying to pop them all the time.
Okay, I'm going to head back to the bus. It's starting to rain a little bit harder, but very cool. Got to feed one of them. I got a surprise little gift from Jana. These were made in Mexico. Everyone got one of these. Looks like I got me an armadillo version. It's very cool. Looks like I got a little buddy. Alright, we just left the place where we saw the Highland cows. So we're now heading back to a village called Callander for a quick lunch. I haven't decided what I want to eat yet, but I'm probably thinking about maybe some fish and chips. Sounds really good. For lunch, I made my way to the Tasty Fry in Callander, Scotland, and it was very good. And I also tried another soda. This time it's bar cream soda, and I thought it was decent. There's a cool shop in town with a good selection of souvenirs, and I ended up with this small figurine of a Highland cow. I was also very tempted to buy a couple other things, like these beer mugs and whiskey glasses, but ultimately decided not to. Kind of regret not buying them though. They look so cool. As you know from part 1, I have a bit of a sweet tooth, especially when it comes to chocolate. So when I saw the sign for the Old Fudge shop, I definitely wanted to try some Scottish goodies. It was hard to choose, but I ultimately ended up buying some chocolate-covered vanilla fudge and some cherry chews. Or so I thought.
just didn't think it was rock candy. It was good.
We went back to the bus and went to our next stop before Glasgow, Loch Lomond, which some of you may know from this song.
By yon bonny banks and by yon bonny braes, where the sun shines bright on Loch Lomond, where me and my true love were ever wont to gae, on the bonny, bonny banks o' Loch Lomond. And you'll take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore ye. But me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny,
But you can see a little house here that has been made for a creature that I have not yet mentioned today, which is the haggis.
'Twas there that we parted in yon shady glen, on the steep, steep sides o' Ben Lomond, where in purple hue.
This is such a beautiful trail of Loch Lomond we're walking around. So from what I understand, we're heading towards a beach of this loch, and it's supposed to be really pretty over there. You know, I'm just really enjoying everything about this national park. I don't remember the name, but I'll just put in the video once I find it. But yeah, it's just a beautiful trail. There's so many photo opportunities. It's just so hard to choose which one's the best. So I'm kind of just winging it like everyone else. We have made it to the beach of Loch Lomond. Yeah. So I found this cool little gem.
Sorry. Well, we're holding everybody up.
Sorry. So I found this cool little gem.
Well,
What do you think it is?
It's too hard to be calcite. So, could be quartz. Probably too hard to be halite as well. But it also looks a little too clear to be quartz. So
All right.
if we had something metal we could scratch, I could tell you for sure. Damn, this is amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's how you test a mineral. Let's find out what it is. You test its hardness. And you can also look for its streak, but with one like that, basically if I, actually here, I'll sacrifice my bottle here, we'll see. Yeah, this is quartz, man.
Sweet.
That's quartz right
I
there.
found some quartz in Scotland.
Good for you, that's some pure shit. That one's good.
All right, we are hiking up this national park to get a really good view of Loch Lomond. Just earlier I was talking to, what's your name again? I'm sorry.
Akasha.
Akasha, about the quartz I may have found on the beach. She said it was kind of unusual to find it in this part of the country. So when we get back to the hotel, we may have a closer inspection of it to see what it really is. But so far, it looks like it might be a quartz. We have made it to the top. And what a gorgeous view of Loch Lomond. A gorgeous view indeed. We all took selfies and pictures from the top of the trail before hiking back down to the coach. It was time to head to Glasgow while listening to the Wild Rover.
And I told the landlady the money was spent. I asked her for credit, but she...
As we entered Glasgow, Victoria talked about the city and even made comparisons between Glasgow and Edinburgh, like how each city has a sports preference and how the buildings utilizes different type of stone.
This is the big football city. So we were in the rugby city this morning and for you yesterday in Edinburgh. But here we've come over into football territory. The two biggest football teams here are, of course, Celtic and Rangers. There's a slight religious element and different sides of the city as well.
Something that's definitely on my bucket list is seeing a rugby or football game from a country outside the United States. And yes, when I said football, I meant soccer. Okay, we just pulled into Glasgow. We're about to check into our hotel. I'm a little bit tired, actually. I think all that walking I did in Edinburgh and then recently at the Doune Castle and Lake Lomond kind of got me, Loch Lomond, excuse me, has got me a little beat, but I think once I check in and move around a little bit, I think I might be up to explore Glasgow a little bit. So, see you then. We said goodbye to Victoria and got to our hotel rooms, and it's a neat one. It's music themed, which is a huge plus for me. We stayed at the Ibis Hotel in Glasgow, and once we got settled in, Stephen and I decided to play a game of pool before heading out. Alright, so we're basically just spending the night here in Glasgow, so we don't have a lot of time to explore the city. So I believe we're in the central square of Glasgow, and we're taking the time to look around, see the sights, probably get some food, and then check out a bar or two. For such a short time, Glasgow had some neat sights. Diarmid showed us a couple of well-known statues in the city, like this one with a cone on its head.
It's right there. It's a great picture to get. That is Glasgow. See the traffic cone on the guy's head? That is Glasgow through and through. You look up a picture, it's some statue with a cone on its head. They stick it on. Look at that.
The other statue is this supposedly homeless person sleeping on the bench, but it teaches a lesson of not judging a book by its cover. That person in question is Jesus Christ.
This is Jesus, and he's the homeless person. He gets the police call them all the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. So anytime it's used in any place around the world, especially if there's gates like in Dublin, you're going to see that there's gates around them, and people call and they're like, there's a guy inside Christchurch Cathedral that's sleeping by the gates. You need to get him out. And they always think there's something. But if you look at his feet, you're going to see the, I think they're called pilots, the holes in his feet. That's how you know it's Jesus.
Once we got off the subway, we made our way to the University of Glasgow by walking through Ashton Lane, where there's a number of restaurants, bars, and pubs. I don't know why, but this kind of reminds me of New Orleans, the way it looks. The University of Glasgow was established back in 1451, and it's the second oldest university in Scotland, only behind the University of St. Andrews, and the fourth oldest university in the English-speaking world. In the beginning, it was served for the wealthy, as it was for most universities at the time, up until the 19th century, where it pioneered by providing the middle class with their education needs during the Industrial Revolution. Those students were taught law, medicine, civil service, and teaching. Today, it continues to have some of the highest enrollment in the UK while offering even more programs to students. Needless to say, the architecture is stunning. As we left the university, Some of the group wanted to check out the Glasgow Botanic Gardens, but some of us, me included, wanted to get dinner and a drink. We went to the Oran Moor, which was next to the gardens, and it has a neat history. The building used to be the Calvinside Parish Church for the Botanic Gardens until becoming the entertainment venue and restaurant in 2004. Alright, this is the Heverly Premium Pilsner.
Now I really hope he goes to dinner with you.
Has this cool fox in the back. Suddenly, Diarmid decided to vlog.
This is a Tyler. Yeah.
It's a me.
He has some glasses, good glasses there, yeah. And I guess he's holding a
I've
beer.
responded to you like 4 times, but then I realized you're talking to yourself on the phone. It's like,
Really? This is my first time doing this, so if I do this like awkwardly or something, I'm just.
No, you're doing great. Yeah. I know.
I've been vlogging on like my little mini cam, but I always keep forgetting to do it.
This is a Brooklyn Stonewall Inn IPA. Cheers.
No, it's not top kind of thing.
Beef cheek and ale pie. I have a feeling some of you watching are wondering if I ever had haggis while in Scotland. Well, the answer is no. I could have tried some from Mark's plate, but I never had the guts to ask.
play it safe. Stay away from the haggis.
I have really bad eyesight. What's the word on the top left?
No pun intended, of course.
I know, it's a little blurry, but I can make it out.
It's good. The last drink I had at the restaurant was Caledonia's Best.
Cheers. Let me drag you out of the country.
Drag you out? Yes.
Throw you back in Irish.
I really don't like Guinness, unfortunately.
There was one more place we wanted to go before calling it a night back at the hotel, and that's the Inn Deep. We originally wanted to get a table outside for a few more drinks, but unfortunately, the bar closed that area off, forcing us to drink inside instead. It is a real shame, because the balcony was right by the River Kelvin. Still, the vibe was vibing. I only had one drink, and it's possibly the most unique. It's called the Alpaca Lips Session IPA, and it has by far the coolest beer mug of the whole trip. Back at the hotel, some of us were not ready to go to bed. We had to play some pool.
I'm not exactly sure what the difference is there.
I was at a bar. Where were you?
At a bar?
Yeah.
What's your thought process? See? Always works.
Camden Pale Ale. We finally went to bed shortly after. Good morning. It is Wednesday, June 10th here in Glasgow. We are supposed to take a ferry to Belfast today, but we've been aware yesterday that there's been a lot of protests happening in Belfast and apparently even a couple here in Glasgow. So we are aware of the situation. The tour guide is in communication with the EF group to see if we need to do any changes to the itinerary to keep all of us safe, which makes perfect sense. But I just woke up and had a shower, and I'm fixing to pack up and treating it like nothing's changed right now. Just going to go down to the hotel lobby with our stuff, and maybe by then we will learn more about what's going on and what we are going to do. So let's get ready. That morning when we got on the coach, it was quite eerie. Everyone was aware of the civil unrest happening in Belfast at the time, and a lot of us were wondering why they didn't announce an itinerary change yet. For now, we were moving on as planned, and we shortly left for the ferry to Northern Ireland. Despite all this, seeing the sights from the coach was really nice. There were cows, rolling hills, wind turbines, and by the time we reached the Scotland coast, there were some seals in the distance. We rode alongside the Firth of Clyde, and in the distance, you can see this island called Elsa Craig. Once we made it to the ferry, things took a turn. Okay, we arrived at the ferry. The situation at Belfast is a little bit hazy right now. I don't even know we're even going to go to Belfast, but we'll just be hanging out and see what happens. I was not allowed to record inside of the port, but just to make it a long story short, yeah, we're not going to Northern Ireland. So yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to Belfast. Things are just a little too dicey over there right now. So our current plan is we're back on the bus. We are on our way to Liverpool to stay there for the night. And then we should be taking a ferry to Dublin the next morning. We're not 100% sure on that either. I'll keep you guys posted. Since Belfast was a bust, we continued down through Scotland to stay in Liverpool, England. But first, we made a short stop at a village called Stranraer, where we all split up to explore and grab some food. Alright, we just stopped at a village called Stranraer. I might be mispronouncing that, but we're just going to grab something to eat and look around a little bit while we eventually work our way into Liverpool tonight. I went to this cafe called Gray's Time, where I had a cup of espresso and brunch. The best way to describe this cafe was delightful. The espresso was good, the brunch was good, and it doesn't feel overly touristy. I didn't have a whole lot of time to check out the rest of Stranraer, but what I did see was the castle of St. John and some of their coastline before heading back to the coach. And if this day couldn't get any crazier, turns out there's a bad car accident on the highway leading towards Liverpool. So at the very last second, we had to go back to Glasgow so we can catch a train to Liverpool. As soon as we get off this bus in Glasgow, we have to hurry to the train to get us to Liverpool. We don't have much time to spare. Things have been absolutely interesting, for lack of a better word. But yeah, just a really fun adventure so far. We'll get through this somehow. Hurry was an understatement. It was made perfectly clear that we had to book it to the train station because this one train was our only ticket to get us to Liverpool that night. So we dashed over there as quickly as we could, passing the cone man, and just in the nick of time, we made it. Want to wave and say hello? That we made it?
Yeah.
We made it.
Somehow.
There was definitely a sigh of relief from Diarmid. I can't imagine how stressful it was to coordinate all of this in such a short time. But he pulled it off. Diarmid is the GOAT. And now we say goodbye to Scotland. Our next stop, Liverpool. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so sorry part 2 took a really long time. Hopefully my video on Liverpool won't take as long. Until then, see you next time.